Hello, my name is Yeva and welcome to my Craft Magazine monthly challenge. I'm challenging myself and you guys to dust off old magazines that you have laying around and get inspiration or even scrap lift some of the layouts. Today I pulled out an April issue from 2009 of Creating Keepsakes magazine, and I have flipped through it already and found Becky's Sketch by Becky Higgins. I've done a little bit of pre-planning here and have found that ice cream paper. That's the only ice cream paper that I can find. Now I have popsicle paper, but these photos were taken at an ice cream shop and I really wanted to use this. This is a really old American Crafts Dear Lizzie collection. I don't know if you guys, anybody still has this. Raise your hand because I still have scraps and I absolutely love it and I'm using it every once in a while. And this collection is from 2011, so it's old. That brown paper down at the bottom, I cut it down to 3 inches and I actually ended up cutting it down to 1 inch because I felt it was too much. And what I want to do at the top is have all the little colorful bits, and at the bottom would kind of ground it with the brown one. So I'm cutting down all my little strips to 1 inch or 1 1/4 in the width of the photo. These photos are slightly smaller than 3 inches. They are 2 3/4. If anybody needs measurements, and I have a bunch of them. And so I'm going to lay out those little pieces at the top. Brings a little bit of color, a little fun. And I'm going to lay them out. And here I'm trying to find a replacement for that blue one. I feel like it's a little bit too dark where everything else is on a white. And so I'm going to flip through it. I find this confetti one that just reminds me of little sprinkles on ice cream. Why not? So here I'm going to keep playing with the top part, and then on the bottom part I decided to play around with maybe trying a smaller strip of paper, 1 inch, and I like that a lot better. And I'm going to do that on the other side too, kind of just carry it across, have a very lining up of the photos, and it came together really quickly, just like in the sketch. This other blue doily paper is a Maggie Holmes paper. I'm not sure which collection. It's an older one for sure. And that brown with polka dots, it's an American Crafts, but I'm not sure which collection. And I'm just deciding what else I want to put. I really want to use more of that ice cream paper because literally that's the only little piece that I have left. I figured I might as well use it because I don't know what else I might have a chance to use it on ice cream paper or a layout. And on the sketches that Maggie Holmes has, she does not have any embellishments on her photos because there is a lot going on. I decide to make it my own and add a little bit of embellishments, but before I get too far, I need to stick everything down. So I'm just measuring, making sure everything's lined up using my T-square ruler. I love this tool. It's my go-to tool. And again, this layout came together really fast. So it's going to take me a minute to get everything straight and line up perfectly. Now you're probably wondering, why do I have so many ice cream photos or of us eating ice cream and holding ice cream? My sister-in-law is a photographer for a local ice cream shop, and she needed some hand models basically and some kids eating ice cream. So I have 3 boys, and she also asked another friend that has 3 girls, and we had just a fun day taking pictures with ice cream and eating all the ice cream we wanted. Literally, we ate a ton, and we also had fun just being in the photos, being silly and trying to act natural. It's actually hard. But it was a really fun day, and I really wanted to capture all the photos that she had posted on the social media account. And these are some of them. And it's mostly of us, me and my family, my boys, the friends, kids. And I ended up being a hand model, which is a first for me. It was a lot of fun to do. This blue paper actually ended up cutting it almost perfect size. Just needed to trim it down. And I like the simplicity there on the side. Just kind of gives it a little break and a airiness. I didn't do any journaling because I'm bad at that, but I'm working on it. But I do plan to print it out and glue it there where the doilies are. Just a few strips of journaling. I'm gonna work on the title now, and I had these stickers that said ice cream, but I kind of wanted to make it more than just ice cream. I was gonna title it Ice Cream, You Scream, We All Scream for Ice Cream, but I ended up not doing that. So I just called it All the Ice Cream You Want, because we literally ate all the ice cream we wanted. Of course, they tried to slow us down so we can take some photos before we eat it all, but any ice cream we were holding, we could eat it. And if we didn't want to, that was fine too. My boys had such a fun time with the idea that they can eat all the ice cream. It was wonderful. So I used little tiny tile stickers. Here I wanted to move it up a little bit, but they were stuck down so hard. I just only managed to move one, and I'm happy with that, and it was fine. So I'm gonna work on the embellishments now. Again, like I mentioned, the sketches didn't have embellishments because there's so many photos, and if you'd want to, you can stop right there, just with photos and some colorful papers. But I wanted to add a little bit of my own touch, and I didn't want to add anything heavy, so I added some vellum that I punched out into little rings and circles. And I love the airiness of it and that pop of something. So I decided to do it in a triangle, even though this is a 2-page layout. Here I'm showing you that there's no embellishments, but I kind of wanted to tie these 2 pages together because this is a 2-page layout. It's a lot going on. And here I found this great little camera that reminded me of the photo shoot, but it was a black camera, and it felt too heavy there with everything else being so light, bright, and airy. Same with the photos, they're quite bright. So I'm deciding to, here I went back into my stash and found some other cameras, 3. Looking back in this video, that pink one did work well, but I ended up not using it, using a teal one and a gray one, and using some old Maggie Holmes papers and stickers that you saw earlier. There was also some Maggie Holmes. There was one tiny little ice cream cone in there, and I was like, I have to use it. I don't know when else I will be able to document something like this. So I'm really liking how everything's looking. I'm gonna start committing and start gluing everything down. Those vellums, I just put a little bit of adhesive, whether it's liquid or regular tape runner, just behind where the spots are going to be tucked away, and just arranging everything. I love those little rings of vellum. I'm so happy with them. They just give that extra little texture, extra little touch. They look so good. I'm so happy. The only other thing is I ended up playing with those cameras. I moved them back and forth, and actually off camera I end up moving it completely different. So what's the finished product slightly different? I end up moving that little ice cream cone down to the bottom where it says ice cream with the gray camera, and putting a teal heart on the other side, which came in a kit from Heidi Swap. It's old stickers that I've had lying around for a while. Here I'm trying to figure out if I want to add something else like enamel dots, but I didn't have the right colors, so I decided to actually use a gold mist, sprinkler around. I love how it reminds me of when ice cream melts and it just kind of drips everywhere, especially with little kids. So that, plus it's gold, why not? So I love that little extra touch, plus with all the ice cream. I use a big old paper. I put scissors down for weight to block off the photos. I don't like when I get mist on my photos. Here, it actually goes under the vellum and spreads. So I catch it in time, I wipe it down. Had a little panic attack, but actually I wiped it down, doesn't look too bad. Again, part of the messiness, right? The last thing I do is always a date stamp. Since it's a 2-page layout, I stamp it in both spots. So I hope you guys really enjoy this. These are the inspirations that I took from the magazine. I really hope you guys can dust off old magazines too and get some inspiration or scrap flip something. Give me a thumbs up if you guys like seeing these challenges, and I will be back next month with another magazine. And here's some few close-up shots of what I had changed with the ice cream and the camera. and the little heart. Thanks for watching. See you next time.